Today's horoscope from Astrocademy, Scorpio December 3, 2022. The moon spends most of the day in your solar fourth house and aligns with your ruler there, bringing good energy for nesting or processing. However, a Mercury-Neptune square makes seeing things clearly a real challenge. It's not easy to get a point across or to find concrete answers. There can be some uncertainty or mental distraction. Others may not be clear with or about you, or they might blow what you say out of proportion. Miscalculations are likely today, but going off the mark may end up a useful exercise if you take it as a learning experience. With a Venus-Saturn transit also in play today, you might find it comforting to focus on those things that are stable and simple in your life. You might enjoy fulfilling your responsibilities more than usual, and you come into your own as you manage your expectations. It's a time for conserving your energy and building your confidence and patience. You might enjoy increased peace of mind as you simplify or keep things moderate. Don't rush impulsively forward today. Another cosmic storm is arriving within the heavens. Drama is certain to manifest with you being at the center of it. Mental Mercury will clash swords in a square with a malevolent Neptune. You may not be seeing eye to eye with your partner, especially around the home, domestic, or family lifestyle. Do your best not to brandish your fury, especially if you feel threatened, offended, defensive, or attacked. Instead, do your best to breathe through it rather than turn your sweetheart into an enemy. You'll be glad that you found your center and released the fight. Prepare to smooth over some tension. Usually, you are a good-natured sign who knows how to keep it light and easy in the workplace. But as Mars retrograde in Gemini opposes Venus in your sign, you may find that it is increasingly difficult to work with certain people. Maybe a boss is grinding your gears or a shared responsibility is causing more stress than anticipated. Whatever it might be, try to steer clear of any unnecessary conflict during this opposition. Use your Venusian fire to bring back a more positive approach to your professional commitments. In the lead up to Venus and Mercury's return to your income sector yesterday, there is a growing sense of anticipation but also a need to keep your mind and your options open. In these final days on his own, Pluto is encouraging the concept of change and even a sense of rebellion, but for now, is remaining light on the details. The when, where, and how can wait until Venus and Mercury return. The astral configuration that is forming may bring up old, familiar feelings. There may have been many days like this in your life. You seem to know your intentions, but the impact of your words and actions can leave people feeling confused and sometimes afraid of you. The key is to recognize your own intensity and nurture it with things you do solo, skydiving or other risk-taking activities being prime examples. Get your daily dose of exercise. Regardless of what you do, there's always room for improvement, and this is an excellent focal point for the energy of this day. You can expect to have all kinds of ideas flooding your mind, and the stamina to see things through, as well. Even if you prefer sticking to the background, step forward now to make the most of the day's energy. Be sure to have some fun while you're at it. One of the most challenging but also the most empowering point of your birthday month will be next week's full moon. This is a full moon that at some point during your birthday month will apply enough pressure to ensure you are not asleep at the wheel. At the same time, falling in your relationship sector, as your personal and relationship needs clash, this will make both more transparent. The reason why this is important now is that Venus and Mercury's clash with Mars in your relationship sector over the last few days has given you a preview, with time to work with the planets of love and communication to prepare. The moon returns today for what is an ordinary monthly visit to your romantic sector, but with a lot more significance this time. As well as the last visit before Jupiter returns, this is the moon's only visit while Venus is in Sagittarius, with a friendly aspect over the coming days, both amplifying the planet of love's influence and her mission to update your romantic desires and expectations for the coming year. Our eyes in the sky. This could be a strenuous day. Be mindful of releasing any tension you might pick up by focusing on your breath and relaxing your shoulders. Problems might appear larger than they actually are at first, so keep a level head if you experience any bumps in the road. Try to understand that you're the victim of projection by others, and don't take their harsh words to heart. The moon in Pisces squares Mercury in Sagittarius, giving you a chance to speak up. In an effort for you to stay focused on your work, you are likely to get misinformation that may throw you off track. If something sounds suspicious, feel free to take the time to double-check it instead of hastily moving on without question. Remember that it's okay to go off script if it helps your emotional state to deviate from your usual routine. Ultimately, the main message is to not be overly critical of or hard on yourself or others. The details you neglected on a recent project are catching up to you and backfiring. You may need to readjust your position today in order to get back on track with the correct procedure. Admit your mistakes instead of covering them up and move on. Dealing with financial matters in a totally relaxed way, others may be stressed and fearful, but you cope with the situation in a straightforward and calm manner. You are courageous enough to act at the right moment and to make profits. Don't overdo it, because pride comes before a fall, and you would ruin all you achieved. Your encounters run smoothly and amicably, like a peaceful flowing river. Family and friends would love to ride this wave with you. You now have the opportunity to resolve old conflicts and hurts and to move forward united. If you are smart about it, you will strengthen ties to your loved ones. Tonight brings a nice, cozy vibe, so plan to stay in for the evening. You'll likely need to recharge after the day is done. After midnight, the Pisces moon squares off with retrograde Mars in Gemini, prompting us to make irrational choices. We believe we are judging a situation accurately, when in truth, we're extra sensitive to small and even imagined slights. This causes us to respond to fictional threats in largely unconscious ways. The assumption that we must defend ourselves through speech may be premature. Keep this in mind before acting or reacting. Work conversations today may be completely over your head. Don't pretend that you know what is going on if you do not. It is better to ask questions than to make believe that you understand when that is not necessarily the case. According to plan, work commitments are easily dealt with, leaving you time to devote to things you're interested in or find more important. Your warm-hearted way of dealing with people you care for assures you the satisfaction and contentment you require, which you get from the affectionate response received in return. In the late afternoon, Mercury in Sagittarius squares off with Neptune in Pisces, exacerbating the day's erratic energy. This is a transit of poor judgment calls. Contractual affairs should be avoided outright. There are likely to be loopholes or vague verbiage that cause us to think we're agreeing to one thing when we are signing on to something quite different. Yet, while we are perhaps more susceptible to manipulation tactics now, given both planets squaring in optimistic, Jupiter-ruled signs, the real enemy is our tendency towards self-deception. We want to believe. The desire to have our biases confirmed places us in a vulnerable position.